Good morning. All right, so this is a little review for tomorrow's quiz, going over a couple of the concepts embedded. So I got a lot of skills embedded in both of these questions, and today there's just a minor new learning, but it will hopefully click for you because we've been using a lot of the same language, so I want to make sure it all comes together. So first things first, we're going to do a parallel perpendicular line in standard form to review how to do this, because now this is all coming together. First question says, find a line parallel to 4y minus 3x equals 8 and has the point 8, 8. So this is going to be a question on tomorrow's test. There's going to be a couple of questions embedded in one here. Okay? One of the questions, which is explicit, is how to change this from standard form to slope intercept form. So we got to move the mx to the other side, so we add 3x to both sides. And I got 4y equals 3x plus 8. And the last thing I do is divide by 4 to get this into y equals format. So y equals 3/4 x plus 2. Alright, now we got to find a line parallel to this line that has the point 8, 8. So we know parallel lines have the exact same slope. So I'm going to rewrite this because I got to find the b. Rewrite this with y and x, and this is nice. 8 is y, which is equal to 3/4 times 8. Okay, mental math. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 8 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides. 2 equals b. So the answer for this one would be y equals 3/4 x plus 2. That is how you do that. There will be questions like this on tomorrow's quiz. Okay? Number two, let's do this one. This one says, find a line perpendicular to negative 3x minus 6y equals 12 and has the point negative 5, negative 2. So, you gotta, again, change this from standard form into slope intercept form. So, first things first, bring the mx to the other side by doing the opposite of it, so it's negative here. It's not negative because of this, it's negative because of this. People are making that mistake sometimes. Alright, so now this says negative 6y equals 3x plus 12, divide both sides by negative 6, and I get y equals, positive 3 over negative 6 is negative 1/2 x minus 2. Alright, now I can start manipulating this equation. And the question says has the point negative 5, negative 2. So we know a perpendicular slope is the reciprocal opposite of this. Reciprocal is 2. Opposite of negative is positive, so the reciprocal opposite slope is 2. Well, essentially we know it's y equals 2x plus b. Now, just like the question before, replace x and y and solve. Y is negative 2. X is negative 5 plus b. Negative 2 equals negative 10 plus b. And I add 10 to both sides, and I get 8 equals b. So, the answer for that one is y equals 2x plus 8. Okay? There it goes. Number 3 says, what are the y and x intercepts of the following? So let's go through and understand how to do that. You already know what the y-intercept is, and I'm doing this today because I need just a little more understanding on your part to understand exactly what y and x-intercepts means. So give yourself some notes. The y-intercept is always written as 0, y, okay? Because the x is always 0 for the y-intercept. Think about it. Wherever it crosses the y-axis, that x value is 0. And on the flip, the x-intercept is always written as x, 0. So watch how we're going to use standard ways of thinking algebraically to answer these questions. So the first things first, let's rewrite 4x minus 2y equals 10 into slope intercept form. Now I can do this two ways. I can do it like this, I can do it slope intercept form, or I can just use my knowledge of x, y intercepts and do it that way. So I'll do it two ways, and I'll do it one in black to the left and then blue to the right, just to make it transparent on what I'm doing. So you guys can choose either way to think through this. Minus 2y equals 10, and then I'm also going to do 4x minus 2y equals 10 to solve it just in standard form, and I'll show you how to do that. First things first, we want you guys to get really sharp at this. Let's write this into slope intercept form. So now this says negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 10. Divide both sides by negative 2. So y equals positive 2x minus 5. Well, the nice thing is we already know the y-intercept here, okay? The y-intercept is already told to us because we should know this pretty well by now. The y-intercept is 0, negative 5, because it's said to us right there in the slope intercept form. Now let's solve for the x-intercept, because all we have to do is replace y with 0 and solve for x. So 0 equals 2x minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I get 5 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. So the x-intercept is 5 halves, or 2.5. That's where the line would cross the x-intercept, or the x-axis. So the x-intercept is written as 5 halves, comma, 0. Okay? Now another way to solve this is I can just use my knowledge of, well, the y-intercept is just replace x with 0 and solve for y. So 4 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. This is 0. So now I'm just going to divide both sides by negative 2. And y equals negative 5. On the flip, let's do it again. 4x minus 2y equals 10. Okay? And now just replace y with 0. So that essentially cancels this out. So I got 4x equals 10, divided by 4 on both sides, reduce this to lowest terms, divide 2 out of top and bottom, I get 5 halves. You can solve this any way you'd like. I just want you to know all the different ways to think through this. So the last but not least is this one right here. And you guys can solve it any way you want. I'm going to solve it using slope intercept and use it that way. Just because I want you guys to get really good at converting standard form to slope intercept form. So if I'm doing negative 3x minus 3y equals 9, I'm going to change this into slope intercept form. I'm going to add 3x to both sides, and I get negative 3y equals 3x plus 9. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3, and I'm going to get y equals, and positive over negative is a negative x, not a negative 1x, but a negative x, minus 3. So right away I know the y-intercept is, looking me straight in the eye right there, at negative 3. It's pretty easy. Y-intercept at 0, negative 3. And this one is for this one. And to now solve for the x-intercept, replace y with 0 and solve for x. 0 equals negative x minus 3. Add 3 to both sides. 3 equals negative x. We're not done. I got to solve for x, not negative x. Last I just divided negative 1 on both sides. So my x-intercept is negative 3. So my x-intercept is written as negative 3, comma 0. This will be on tomorrow's quiz. See you guys in class.